Hey everybody, Keep 7 Gaming here, back with another Magic the Gathering Arena video, and today we are going to look at a deck that is a variation of an already popular deck, Dimir Rogues, and I have changed actually something pretty big about the deck. So I made Lurrus the companion, and I guess I focus less on using tempo and counter spells to win the game, and it's more of an aggressive approach. And then we use things like Lurrus and Call of the Death Dweller and Agadeem's Awakening to kind of recur the threats that were kind of really important that our opponent needed to remove throughout the game. So one of the biggest things is obviously you're losing the ability to use cards like Zareth San, cards like Nighthawk Scavenger, cards like Brazen Borrower, which are all obviously staples and really important cards in the Dimir Rogue archetype, or in the Dimir Rogue shell that's been running around. And having those cut kind of seems like a really bad idea, because those are probably the big cards that end games. But I tried this out and I really like it. I don't know if you can see. I don't think my MTG arena thing pops up for you guys on screen, but I can see it here. So I tested it for about 4 hours. I played, looks like 25 games, it looks like. I was 16-9, so 64% win rate, which is pretty good. That's not bad. I mean, it's play queue, and in the play queue, obviously, you're going to get some suboptimal builds. But, you know, I played like Omnath Ramp. It was probably not the... I mean, I think it was like I played the Crab version, the Mill version. I played the... I think they all run Lotus Cobra, but I played a couple, and I beat both of them. I beat Mono... I beat Mill every time. Every time Mill tries to play this deck, it loses. This deck is just better at milling, and this deck is just better at being aggressive and actually getting damage done to face. And it'll do 20 damage before that mills 60 cards. So I beat Mill, I beat Mono Green, I beat Mono Red, I beat Landfall Aggro, I lost actually to Gruul Landfall Aggro. Gruul Landfall Aggro is really good. Actually, where this deck usually loses is when you're in an aggro mirror, because it's a good aggro deck, but it's not the best aggro deck. It just catches people by surprise, I think. The advantage you have is the recursion. Like, if you can deal with their threats, which we have a lot of answers for. We have Bloodchief's Thirst, Drown in the Lock. So we have effectively 8 removal and 4 counter spells. And then we have Call the Death Dweller to kind of bring back our major threats. So we have a lot of ways to like deal with stuff. But, you know, aggro matchups, usually I find myself kind of on the losing side, which is unfortunate. But like a lot of other decks, you know, I have won some aggro matchups, but I'm just in generally saying that it feels like you lose the aggro matchup. But a lot of other decks, it's just cheap threats and being aggressive and you win. Like, I've beaten mid-range, I've beaten control. This beats the shit out of control, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just using cheap creatures, getting in there. It has the basic, you know, the 1 and 2 drop from the Dimir shell, the Merfolk Windrobber, things like Soaring Thought Thief, Thieves Guild Enforcer. I put in 4 Ghostly Pilfer because I think it's a very underrated 2-drop that's pretty good in this deck. I mean, a 2-drop rogue that's a 2/1 that can be unblockable is pretty important. So I think he slots in here very well. And I think he's an underutilized and underrated card. I mean, he was a rare that just was kind of a dud in the M21 set, but in this deck he's not an MVP, but man, oh man, he's a must kill for your opponent sometimes. You know, I've had situations where my Ghostly Pilfer is a 4/1 unblockable because I have I have like 2 Soaring Thought Thieves in play, and you know, stuff like that. So can be a very potent card. And then he also has some abilities which, you know, the static abilities. Whenever he becomes untapped, you can pay 2, which generally you don't want to do. You can draw a card. And then whenever an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card, which, again, not the best ability, but hey, you know, if it works, great. And then you can discard a card, and he can't be blocked this turn. Which, you know, if you want to discard a card, it doesn't hurt too much, especially if it's another, you know, if you want to discard another rogue, that's not the worst thing in the world, because you can just get it back with Call of the Death Dweller or Lurrus of the Dream Den. So really, what you want to do, ideally, your turn is going to look like your opening hand has a Thieves Guild Enforcer and a Soaring Thought Thief. In the case that that's, or in the situation where that's not the case, you do have other ways to kind of start a game pretty well here. You can curve out pretty well. You can put a Merfolk Windrobber down and then move on to a Thieves Guild Enforcer or something like that. But your bread and butter is starting with Thieves Guild Enforcer, moving on to Soaring Thought Thief, and then you just keep throwing rogues down, keep milling them. They're inevitably going to start removing your rogues. So then at some point in the game, you call it the Death Dweller, you throw them all back on the board, and you can re-trigger Thieves Guild Enforcer a bunch and stuff like that. And Thieves Guild Enforcer also doubles as removal. If she becomes the 3/2 and has Death Touch, then she can block pretty much anything. And you don't really care about trading her away because of Call of the Death Dweller, Agadeem's Awakening, Lurrus. You can just get her right back. So yeah, it's just being aggressive and recursion, just knowing when you can give away a threat, and all of your threats are probably going to cost less than the threats your opponent is going to be deploying, and then just getting them back with Agadeem's Awakening, Call of the Death Dweller, or Lurrus, and you just kind of try to tire and grind your opponent out that way. That all being said, so I love the deck. That all being said, it probably would be better to just cut Lurrus as a companion, incorporate maybe like 2 Lurrus in the main deck, and then cut Vantress Gargoyle, cut Maddening Cacophony, which I only have in here as a fun of because it's a good, if you've milled them to the point where this could be a finisher, or it's just a way to kind of get them up to 8 cards if they're escaping stuff or something like that. You just need to get them to 8 cards or more in their graveyard to activate things like Vantress Gargoyle, Thieves Guild Enforcer, yada yada yada. It's just a way to do that if you're in a pinch. But the point I'm trying to make here is this deck, tuned and optimized, probably cuts Lurrus as a companion, cuts Maddening Cacophony, cuts Vantress Gargoyle, probably cuts the Pilfer, which feels bad because I really love this guy. Cuts all of that stuff. You main deck maybe 2 copies or 3 copies of Lurrus, and then probably just 2 copies. You don't want to flood out with a bunch of 3 mana guys, but basically just do exactly what people are doing with the other Dimir Rogues shell, except I would maybe cut Zareth down to 1 or 2. I wouldn't run 4 by any means, but maybe 1 or 2 of him, 2 Lurrus, and then just do the regular like Brazen Borrower and Nighthawk Scavenger guy. That's probably where you want to actually be. It's probably for the best. That is a lot of 3-drops though. So, you probably got to play around, but I'll just show you it for anybody who doesn't know. This is probably more of what a Dimir Rogue shell looks like. You got the Lofty Denials. I threw 1 into the story in here just because your opponent probably has 7 cards in their graveyard, and a 4-mana draw 4 is pretty good. But yeah, this is kind of the deck that my deck is based off of, obviously just having to cut out everything that's a 3-drop or higher as far as creatures. I was thinking about putting into the story into my Lurrus deck, but anyway, that's the deck, that's the build. It does win games, it has legs, but because you're limited to the 2-drops, sometimes it can be a little weak and a little underwhelming, and sometimes you just get run over. But that's Magic at the end of the day. So I hope you guys like the build, I hope you guys like how it plays. Yeah, let's get in some matches. Let's see how this thing goes. Alright. Our first opponent for the day is Resolve. Keep 7 versus Resolve. And we have a terrible, terrible starting hand. I don't know if that's better or worse. Man. I guess we'll start with it. We'll see where it goes. So I posted this deck on Reddit, on the Spikes subreddit, and man, oh man, did they have a field day with telling me how bad it was. And admittedly, yeah, it's suboptimal. You're losing big punchers in Soaring Thought, or not Soaring. Well, you're losing big punchers in guys like what's his name, Nighthawk Scavenger. You're losing big guys like Zareth, and Brazen Borrower is obviously just probably one of the best cards in the format right now. So you're losing a lot. But I like this deck. It's a good deck. It's a fun deck. You're going to have a tough time milling them here, and obviously milling is pretty important with what we got here. Okay. Lotus Cobra, that is a must remove. Oh man, I should have put the blue down. That was a huge fuck up. I think he's our best play here. See if he wants to trade. Actually, let's just see if he wants to trade. We have another one. He's not going to want to. Nobody throws away the Cobra. I think discarding the card's just dumb. Fucking Cobra. Yeah, I don't think throwing away Ghostly Pilferer right now is the best idea. Oh, come on, man. What a joke. Double Cobra. Ugh. Sick. Sick. They're gonna target the Pilferer. Can't be blocked. Doesn't matter. Alright. Well, we had more where that came from. Let's just get them all down. Fuck it. So here's going to be Omnath, right? This is going to be your big Omnath turn. What a meta. What a fucking meta this is. Just a Fires of an Invention that can attack and block, gives you a card, gives you a bunch of free mana. Like, what a joke, dude. Oh my god, and it's the mill strategy. We'll see if we can out-mill him. Yeah, fuck it. Oh, man. What a joke. Hey, that's actually sick. We'll take that. Six. Shit. We'll take it. We'll take it. I don't want to pay 2. I don't want to pay 2. Let's go Thieves Guild Enforcer. Yeah, trade these. Fuck it. Because we can get it back with Lurrus. So if you want to trade for that Ghostly Pilfer, be my fucking guest, bro. You and your Omnath trash. Get out of here. Can he have the biggest turn of his life? Does he have the other Omnath is really the question. Fucking, they always have it, dude. They always fucking have it. Does he have like a Fabled Passage to follow it up? That's just an island. Oh fuck, but he adds mana. Shit. With the Lotus Cobras, what can he do with it? just like get back Uro or something? No, he only gets 3 back. What could you possibly do with that? 3 blue mana. What could you do with 3 blue mana? Another Ruin Crab? 2 more Ruin Crabs? You gonna bounce something back to my hand? My Thieves Guild Enforcer? It's 1 mana. It's bad tempo for you. Kill my Lurrus, that would hurt. I'd have to get a Call the Death Dweller up the top, but like 3 blue mana, what is he planning on doing here? What else do these decks run? Yeah, Brazen Borrower. Okay. Lol. Alright. So what do I want to get back? I guess we can go with the cheap one. Let's see. I can kill, or I can use this to counter. Humdillium, dillium, dillium. I guess the Merfolk Windropper is pretty good because it's a flyer. Ghostly Pilfer is just something he needs to address. Can we leave the mana up to kill and or counter? I mean, if he wants to block with the Omnath, if he wants to block with the Cobra, like, I guess we're fine with trading Thieves Guild Enforcer with any of those because we can just get it back for 1 mana with Lurrus. And then Drown in the Lock, instant speed, just get rid of Omnath. Or, you know, if he wants to go for some huge fucking play, we just counter it. And then whatever we draw next turn, we can just make Ghostly Pilfer unblockable. Yeah, we'll see. Because, like, him getting back Uro here means he's at 8 life. Plays another land, Omnath. He can get up to, like, 12. And then I need to attack through all that. Okay. Oh, 8. Wow, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I was right. Math. 12. Lol. And of course, you can't counter fucking lands. That's the thing. I'm just waiting for, like, Genesis Ultimatum, but maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have just countered the Uro. But if I count, that's the thing. If I counter the Uro, then the Genesis Ultimatum, which is just game for me. Fuck it. I think I'm just gonna kill the Omnath. We're at 39. He's back up to 15. Jesus Christ. This is a grind. That might have not been the right choice. I'm pushing him to his plan C, where Uro is his only option. But man, oh man, these Lotus Cobras are just such a great way for him to recover. Does he have the other Omnath? That would be a fucking joke. Good thing is he's milling me, which means that I can get access to everything that's in this graveyard. All the creatures. Green. If he does white, then I know what I'm in for. Nope. Brazen Borrow something? He's just playing Brazen Borrower. So this is actually where Ghostly Pilfer is coming in fucking clutch, dude. That static ability is actually fire absolute flames right now. Alright. I think a Soaring Thought Thief is actually what we want here. And then we can... Do we save the Drown in the Loch? And just go for tradesies? I don't think I need an Agadeem's Awakening. Actually, let's just discard the Vantress Gargoyle. We can get it back. Whatever he blocks, we can get back. Why would you block the Wind Robber? Yeah, block the Soaring Thought Thief. And that's fine. I'll take an Uro for a Thieves Guild Enforcer any day of the week. We'll leave the mana up. I guess I'm just holding on to this Agadeem's just in case is the situation where like I need it, but might as well just put the land down. Also, it's just fodder. It's something I can throw away with Ghostly Pilferer if I need to, just to make him unblockable. You never know. But yeah, we could like Thieves Guild. I think Thieves Guild Enforcer is what I want to get back with Lurrus. Probably, just so I have a blocker on the ground. Can't counter a land drop. He's at 19. What are we at? 30? I'm fine with another Ruin Crab. I don't want to pay. All things considered, we don't have... I want something that can block on the ground that has Death Touch. Just the trading for removal is pretty good. We'll call the Death Dweller. We'll get Thieves Guild Enforcer. And I guess a Soaring Thought Thief. Death Touch him, Menace him. Get those triggers. Discard a card. Discard Agadeem's Awakening. Man, oh man, do I wish I had a way to get them to discard their fucking... or to exile their graveyard. I really probably should have attacked with everything, eh? That's fine. We're at 23. They're at 3. They literally can't play a Genesis Ultimatum. They literally cannot play Escape to the Wilds. They literally cannot play a bunch of stuff. So I'm just looking for something like Uro. Does this kill them? I think that actually kills them, doesn't it? counter it. Whatever's in their deck, I don't want them to play it. I think that killed them. I'm not 100% sure, though. Got him. We beat Omnath Ramp, all right? Don't tell me this deck doesn't have legs. We just beat Omnath fucking Ramp. And I don't even know the right rules. I literally countered a spell that might have just made them commit suicide. But hey, we gotta win. Normal rogues. Like, if you see Lurrus, it's not gonna be the... You literally cannot play Zareth Sand with Lurrus. So, like, what... If you see rogues, like, it's only gonna be 2 mana rogues. And a Vantress Gargoyle, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, fuck. Tapped land, no thank you. Drown in the Loch, no thank you. This is gonna be tough. Okay. Damn. That was hard to get. Go get a black. Do some attack, do some mill. Save the Zulaport Duelist to save us from 2 damage or something. Oh, that's pretty cool. Robber the Rich, eh? Do I throw away a Zulaport Duelist? I mean, Robber the Rich is kind of a feels bad. Robber of the Rich really kind of fucks us. I need mana. Okay, so he's running some sort of Winota list. Can I deal with Outlaw's Merriment? I think I can. Oh, man. At what point are we just trading threats? Thing is, I can get mine back. He is gonna always have these, like, the 3-1 haste. Like, I can pick a few of these off, and then hopefully I draw into a Call the Death Dweller. Or I buy Lurrus, and then I have to wait another turn to play Lurrus. Is this Schmember Cleave? Yeah. They always have it. Yeah, there's no way we're coming back from this. Oh, that was a mistake. I I shouldn't have put the Menace counter on Ghostly Pilfer, but it doesn't really matter. I doubt I'm going to be attacking with, what's his face anyway. Well, that's game. Yikes. Alright. Fortunius. Merfolk Windrobber and the Soaring Thought Thief. Yeah, we'll keep it. That's a top deck. Banishing Light, eh? What is your game, sir? Dream Trawler, what is your game? Well, God knows I gotta get some counter spells in my hand before that goes off. Ramp. Wow, that is super frustrating. I guess let's get the unblockable rogue out there first. Let's go get the other black for good old Lurry boy if we need to cast him. Sucks because we can't double Merfolk Windrobber. Board wipe. Yeah, board wipe. So we need counter magic, and how? There it is. Shatter the sky, good sir. Do you have a negate? Didn't think so. Got him. Whew. Okay, so maybe more counter spells is what we need. Yeah, I had fun. Crushed. Johan Angel. Mulligan. We'll keep it. Boy, oh boy, I don't like it. I said we'll keep it. But boy, oh boy, I don't like it. Ugh. What do you even get rid of here? Call and just hope that I draw into it? Maybe. Ooh, mirror match. Got the Thieves Guild Enforcer off the top. Let him play his play. Come on, man. So he's probably running the version with Zareth. So if we can beat actual Dimir rogues with Lurrus rogues, That'd be pretty fucking cool. Or is this mono black? Okay. Drown in the lock. I like it, but I think we have enough in our hand. Okay, so there's a blue. A little bit of a staring match. Nope. Depending on what they play next. We Blood Chiefs Thirst it. No. Let's see, what else you got? Okay. That's his whole turn. We'll go with more black. If you want us both to sacrifice a creature, that's fucking hilarious. Let's go for what'll give me more damage in the long run, I guess. Lol. Let's see what you got. We beat him. We beat the mirror, dude. I'm telling you, this deck has legs, and nobody fucking believes me. Everyone, oh, Nightpack Scavenger, oh, fucking Breathing Borrower. That shit sucks. This deck is fire. It's fire flames, even though I lost a bunch of fucking games in a row. This deck is good. Don't give me that shit. Ends up doing. I think overall we're at like a 50% win rate today. We won a bunch. Admittedly, a few of these. Ooh, that is a great hand. No counter magic, though, which is a little woof, but we'll draw into it. I believe. I believe in a thing called love. No clues as to what we could be playing. White. All Seed of Life's Bounty. Thieves Guild Enforcer. Mill 2, sir. Land, Thieves Guild Enforcer, and Zulaport Duelist? Don't care. Take your 1 life. I don't give a shit. Actually, or do we just do this now? And then get them... Yeah, I think we just do this now, TBH. to 3/2s with Death Touch. Throw down our Ghostly Pilfer, or actually I guess Soaring Thought Thief is the better play. 2/2. Ooh. Woof. Ay, papi. What a fucking start. Would you like to trade? No? Nom? What a start. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. That was disgusting. Never should 3 Thieves Guild Enforcers be out that fast. That was ridiculous. That was dope. Alright, last game, I promise. Because that one went by way too fast. That was just gross. Having the extra, like, rogues is just... ridiculous, you know? Evolving Wilds. Hawkward. I think we just play it now. Come on, Merfolk Windrouter. Kate. Kate. Okay, so maybe Gruul Landfall, which, that's tough. Gruul Landfall is very tough for us. Wait, what? By power 2 or less? Ooh, that sucks. 4 mana. We already have it. What would you like to play, sir? Anything of consequence. Because boy oh boy, do I have an answer for it. Nope. I say no to your Cobra. No. Put it away. Nice. You have a 3/3. Oh no, it's going to be way more than a 3/3. It's going to be a 5/5? Okay. Got nothing dead yet. Let's get more black. It would be so much better if this had flash. I feel like that's what it's missing. We can set up for a nice Call the Death Dweller, I guess. Actually, we could even... Nah. I was gonna say we could kill our own Ghostly Pilferer with the Drown in the Loch so he doesn't get the Bone Crusher Giant, but like, what do I care? We can sacrifice our own Wind Robber here, and then we can call the Death Dweller. If we draw into a land, that would be sick, because then we have the Drown in the Loch. So one of these things has got to go. These landfall triggers are just going to be... Oh, I should have waited until he cracked the passage. Whatever. TBH. I think leaving the mana open, making him think we have more, which we don't. But we sack the Merfolk Wind Robber so that we can call the Death Dweller, get back 2 things as opposed to 1. I was hoping we could sack it. I guess that's not it. Only if it has 8 or more cards in the library, so he must have not had 8 or more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Death Touch. Menace on you, I guess. Death Touch will be kind of a feels bad for them. We've gotten run over by Gruul Landfall before, but I'm feeling decent. That Call the Death Dweller was fucking key. I think he's bluffing. I don't think he has the land. And we can just sack our Merfolk Wind Robber to negate the... Oh, right. The triggers, but Death Touch. So I think we made the right choice here. We can Lurrus and then get him back. Lofty Denial. I think we're just gonna get aggressive here. Fuck it. He has 2 cards in hand. He can trigger the whatchamacallit, but we have a blocker. What a joke, dude. How many fucking of these modal lands do you have? Embercleave? Schmembercleave? Alright. So he takes 7. Now we take 9. Can't have it. I think we just pretend like we're holding up counter magic. Might have to give up the Lurrus here to save ourselves. Ghostly Pilferer coming in fucking clutch. Not so clutch. Less than clutch. We can trade the Ghostly Pilferer for the Bone Crusher. I'm fine with that. I think that's what we got to do. I think this is our best shot. We can just keep sacking the Merfolk Windrobber here. There's a removal spell I wanted to see. Holy heck. Throw it at my face. Throw it at my face. Throw it at my face. But okay. Goodbye, Akum Hellhound. Hello, Merfolk Windrobber. Hello, Ghostly Pilfer. Hello, land. I'd like some life. Embercleave off the top. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Got him. Beating Gruul Landfall, people. I'm telling you, the deck has legs. You play it right, the deck has fucking legs. That was the performance of the deck. And, like, look, we beat Omnath in this video. And I'm not even saying what I beat before, but in this video, we beat Gruul Landfall, we beat Omnath Ramp, and we beat the Mirror Match. Like, this deck can win games. I don't care what the Spike subreddit says. I don't care if they think that Nighthawk Scavenger and Brazen Borrower are like really important. The Dimir Rogues deck sucks in Standard in general anyway. It can win games, it can get you to Mythic, but it's not good enough. It never really beats Omnath. But like in rare instances, it can, and so can this. And this I think can perform just as well. And utilizing these cheap creatures and recursion, I think it can perform as well, if not better, than the Nighthawk Zareth whatever version. And I think you guys saw that it can stand up. You know, it has legs. If you can recur things correctly, and you know, I've made a couple misplays. Admittedly, I'm terrible at this game, and I still won against Omnath and Gruul Landfall. So, and the Gruul Landfall had so many possible triggers, and I just kept, you know, I had the Merfolk Windrobber, and I was able to just keep sacking him so that they couldn't get any damage through. You know, so this deck has legs if you play it right. And if you can really kind of key in on that recursion, I mean, that's your real win con here. Things I might change. So during the video, I noticed that a lot of the time, you know, like just having counter magic was probably more important. So when the first draft of this deck was basically just an extremely cheap and aggressive approach where you just have a bunch of small creatures, you're throwing them out there turn after turn. Use your recursion to kind of make them kind of a really annoying threat that your opponent has to deal with, blah, blah, blah. But what I noticed is a lot of the times the opponent was just having one or two really big turns that if I just had counter magic for, we would have been able to solve that problem. So I put 4 Lofty Denial back in. I like, and things I might change. Maybe it is better to have the Zulaport Duelist. I don't think so. I think having 2 copies is fine, just as a cheap trigger for Thieves Guild Enforcer. Maybe just cut it all completely out and find a different 1-mana rogue. I just don't know what else would be in these colors. Maybe Fairy Vandal. Maybe just put Fairy Vandal in there. But like Fairy Vandal isn't going to do much. Maybe Acquisitions Expert is a good one. I don't really know. I'm just trying to think of like a cheap rogue that we could put in here, but nothing's really coming to mind. But maybe cut Zulaport Duelist and cut Vantress Gargoyle. Vantress Gargoyle is just supposed to be that card that's there to finish the game for you if you need to attack face for 5 damage with a 2-mana creature. It's supposed to replace the Nighthawk Scavenger as like your big threat that does a lot of damage in the sky. But you could probably just cut it. You could probably just cut it and maybe cut Vantress and max out on Zulaport Duelist, and maybe like, I just don't know what else you put in here, you know? Like what other 2-mana rogue can you even play here? So, I mean, that's why I have Vantress Gargoyle in here at all. So maybe you just cut 1 Duelist and add another Gargoyle. You can do a lot of tweaking and tuning. I just don't like that Vantress Gargoyle doesn't trigger Thieves Guild Enforcer, and it doesn't trigger like Soaring Thought Thief and stuff like that, but I guess you gotta work with what you got. Maybe more removal, just maybe get rid of Zulaport Duelist and throw in like some Eliminates or something like that, and just make it all about tempo and just like getting a few of your creatures down rather than like spilling out an entire board of a bunch of rogues. You just do a couple rogues and then you just try to control the game from there. But I mean, no matter how you play it, like I tweaked this as I was playing and stuff, and you know, it does win games. You saw for yourself, right? So It's a good deck. It's a fun deck. You should try it. I wouldn't craft. I mean, how many rares are even in this? What, like Thieves Guild Enforcer is, I think, a rare, and then maybe Ghostly Pilferer is a rare. Um, I don't know about Drown in the Locksworn Thought Thief. I don't know about these guys, but like it's a fairly cheap deck. But like still, this I think is maybe even a mythic. Um, I wouldn't go out and like craft any of this stuff and like try to make this the deck that you play on the ladder. But like as a deck that you just want to maybe surprise people with how it works. I've gotten a lot of people when I'm playing them. They'll just say like, maybe it's sarcastic, but people will be like, they'll see what I'm doing. They'll see that I'm playing Lurrus, and they just kind of see the recursion and stuff, and they'll be like, nice. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Or maybe they're just upset that they're losing, and they're just throwing me the nice because they're upset that they're losing. Probably that, and probably not them complimenting my deck building skills. But yeah, this is it. I really like it. Ghostly Pilfer, I think, is just an awesome, underrated, undervalued, underutilized card. Especially even if you think about it in the actual rogues deck that people are playing. Like, if you want an unblocked rogue, this guy is like perfect for that, right? Like you can make him unblocked, and then you have an automatic, no matter what your opponent does, you have a Zareth Sand trigger. Like that's amazing. So I think this guy's underutilized in a lot of ways. So I'm glad I was able to find a place for him in a nice little home in a deck that maybe from the outside looking in looks pretty bad, but once you sit down, you get behind it and you start piloting it, man, it's fun. A lot of decisions to make, a lot of thinking about things like tempo. And actually, I shat on his static ability before we even started playing, and the amount of people who have adventure, I didn't even think about adventures. And the adventures all trigger his static ability. So if you come up against like an adventures deck, literally anything, Bonecrusher Giant is an extremely powerful and popular card right now. And it gets like it's just, oh man, I loved it. I love this card, and you should too. And if you don't, you're wrong, and I hate you. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, but still, play the deck. I really like it. I'll put the deck list. I'll put the finalized deck list in the description. The only thing that you should really do is maybe tweak the amount of Lofty Denials and Zulaport Duelists, and that's about it. I have a lot of fun with this deck. It's my baby. I loves it. Oh, also, probably just cut out all of the Temple of Deceits, because nothing feels worse than having a fucking Temple of Deceit in your goddamn starting hand. So I'm gonna actually cut all of them. Throw in an Agadeem's Awakening, and then I'm gonna throw in another maybe another Fabled Passage, just to reduce the amount of tapped lands, because tapped lands in this deck hurt your heart so bad. You just never want to see them. And like the Scry, who cares about Scry? So yeah, I'll put this deck list in the description. Don't craft anything. It's not worth it. But if you have the cards, or if you just have the spare wild cards and you just want to find a new deck to play, it's good. I really liked it. You saw it play. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next.